My name is Tushar Kansal. I am a finance professional. I work for big companies like Big Four, Deloitte and Touche in the financial advisory space. Post that, I was in Brand Company, which is the largest PE fund in India by number of transactions. It's owned by Times of India Group, Bennett Goldman. Then I worked for Treasury of Aircel, which was a 45,000 crore treasury. I was on the operations side, and post that I was head of debt for FTS, which is a $5 billion investment by Systema of Russia. And lastly, I was the CFO with a 1,500 crore logistics company called Vikram Logistics. It's now called Distribution Logistics and Infrastructure. Finance is a very vast. It's an ocean because be it any company, the finance department and the scope of finance is huge. If one wants to make a career in finance, it's very remunerative. It takes you to places. It can take you abroad. It can take you to very well organized markets, and it's well paying also. So, what are the areas in which one can work? So, if you want to make a career in finance, the most prominent course which comes to the mind is CA, being a chartered accountant. That a lot of people prefer that route because people feel that accounting is the base of finance. So, if one has to make a career in accounting, then one must do a CA in India. If one wants to make a career abroad in the accounting field, then one would need to do a CPA, which is a one-year course in the US. But accounting norms worldwide are not the same. So there are different accounting standards, and India follows certain accounting standards. And countries which are operating out of from India, but who also have branches abroad, they have to report their accounts in a separate accounting standard called IFRS. And if a company is based abroad, then necessarily they have to do IFRS. So one really within accounting itself, it's a vast field. Then apart from accounting, one can do a CS, company secretary course. A secretarial course is very beneficial for somebody who wants to start his own practice of advising clients in how to raise funds through the capital markets like an IPO, or how to organize the companies in terms of shareholding pattern, which kind of shares to subscribe to, which kind of instruments can be there to raise funds, and what are the compliances required from the government side for raising funds. So that is the whole CSP. Third is MBA Finance. Now MBA Finance as a course, there are many places in India which offer you a core MBA Finance course. But usually the latest methodology of learning is now coming from the West, which means that there are many subjects which one can choose within the MBA. So there can be some electives, there can be some main courses, there can be a mix of finance courses, marketing courses. So it's not a core accounting field, but if you do MBA Finance, you are good enough to enter the finance field, but not in the core accounting side, because finance is a huge field. So it doesn't necessarily mean that an MBA Finance he only has to work in the accounting side. He can work in any side. For example, there are insurance companies. Now, if you know that there are very few people who are able to clear the actuarial exam in India, because actuarials are those people who write insurance policies. Now, these are very few people who clear the exam, and the money is huge. I mean, you can make crores from day one, crores salary plus from day one. Then, right now, as you know, banks are sitting on almost $150 billion of non-performing assets. The loans which have gone bad. So these companies, with the advent of the new insolvency and bankruptcy code, these companies are slowly going into insolvency. And there is a course which is an online course from the government. You require a 15-year experience for doing that, for taking the test.
Okay.
If you take the test, you become and you clear it successfully, you become an insolvency professional.
Right.
So this field has opened up like anything, because earlier there was no bankruptcy code. So banks typically used to declare a company as defaulter, and then they try to recover their loans by laws such as SARFAESI and other laws. But now with the advent of bankruptcy code, these companies go into bankruptcy. There is an insolvency professional who's appointed by the bankruptcy tribunal, and this professional earns a lot. So I know of one person who had a very good practice in finance, in corporate finance, and now he's an insolvency professional, and he's earning almost 1 crore a month for each company he's handling. So this is the kind of money you can make. Then there are, if you usually it's best that you do a combination of courses if you want to enter finance. So if you want to enter private equity funds, then it's best that you do a CFA course. Now there are CFA courses in India as well, but it's better that you do it from the main agency, which is the US agency. You do that course, you'll be able to earn very good in private equity field. When I talk about the combination of courses, then it's best that you do CSCA or MBA CA or CS plus law or CA plus law, because then you become a thorough professional, because law has a big dimension in finance. There is corporate law, and the laws they affect the entire gamut of finance. So it's best that you do a combination of 2 courses, and if you want to work in any company secretariat, it's a company job. So as we know, a lot of corporate offices are there in Delhi and NCR. So naturally, you can work there as a CS or as a CA, or in corporate finance. So corporate finance would, apart from accounting and everything, it would also be fundraising. So raising debt from banks or NBFCs, or raising equity from private equity funds, venture capital, or doing mergers and acquisitions. So naturally, since a lot of corporate offices are there in Delhi and around, and if one wants to stick to this area, then if somebody belongs to Hyderabad, somebody belongs to Bombay, they can definitely get a lot of corporate finance, work there, because a lot of corporate offices are there. So finance is a very good field. You have a plethora of options to choose from, and you can work anywhere.